All right, so I did not have a paper copy of this book, and so we're just going to read it online. There is a woman that's reading it, but she's muted, and so I'm just going to scroll through the book this way. This is an argumentative text, so as we're reading, I want you thinking about who is writing this book and who is her audience, who is her intended audience that she's trying to persuade or convince them of something. And then what is her claim? Like, what is she particularly, or he the person who's claiming something, what are they claiming? Like, what are they trying to prove as a point? Okay, let's make it big. There we go. Oh, let's make sure we didn't go too far. Okay. You think you know everything about Thanksgiving, don't you? How the Native Americans saved the Pilgrims from starving. How the Pilgrims held a big feast to celebrate and say thank you, turkeys, pumpkin pie, cranberries, the works. Well, listen up. I have a newsflash. Newsflashes are fun. We almost lost Thanksgiving. Uh-oh. Didn't know that, did you? It's true. Way, way back when skirts were long and the hats were tall, Thanksgiving was fading away. Sure, the folks up in New England celebrated it. They'd roast a turkey and invite their relatives when the harvest came in. But not in the South, not in the West, not even in the mid-Atlantic states. More and more people ignored the holidays. Thanksgiving was in trouble. It needed a superhero. No, not that kind. Thanksgiving needed a real superhero. Someone bold and brave and stubborn and smart. Did you see how right here it italicized the word real? They're emphasizing they needed someone that was real, not someone that was ideal. Thanksgiving needed Sarah Hill. Now, I know what you're thinking. She doesn't look like a superhero. She looks like a dainty little lady. Never underestimate a dainty little lady. So what do you think the word dainty might mean? So dainty just means someone who's like small and put together and just real calm and proper. Let's see what Sarah does. Sorry we're having to read the book like this. It takes a second. Sarah Hill was every inch of a superhero. Not only did she fight for Thanksgiving, she fought for playgrounds for kids, schools for girls, and historical monuments for everyone. She argued against spanking, pie for breakfast, dull stories, corsets and bloomers and bussets, and very serious things like slavery. So what can we infer about Sarah is that she was a fighter. She liked to fight for what she thought was right. As if that weren't enough, she raised 5 children, wrote poetry, children's books, novels, and biographies, was the first female magazine editor in America, published great American numbers like Henry Wadsworth Longfellow and Edgar Allan Poe, and composed Mary Had a Little Lamb. How did she do all of those things? She was bold, brave, stubborn, and smart. And Sarah Hill had a secret weapon. A pen. When Sarah saw something she didn't like, she picked up her pen and wrote about it. She wrote letters. She wrote articles. She wrote and wrote and wrote until she persuaded people to make the world a better place. Nothing stopped Sarah. Sarah Held loved Thanksgiving. She wanted the whole country to celebrate it on the same day. When the folks started to ignore Thanksgiving, well, that just curled her gravy. She picked up her pen and Sarah wrote letters, thousands of letters, asking politicians to make Thanksgiving a national holiday. She wrote magazine articles asking her readers for help. The women of America listened. They put down their babies, their work, their hoes, their skillets, and their washing. They picked up their pens and wrote. And when the letters arrived, the politicians listened too. One by one, the states officially made Thanksgiving a holiday. But that wasn't good enough. Sarah Hale wanted the whole country to celebrate together like a family. She went to the top. So are you starting to kind of figure out like what is Sarah's claim? Like what is she pushing for? What is her argument? What does she believe in? The women of America listened. They put down, Sarah wrote to the president himself, Zachary Taylor. He refused. Did that stop Sarah? Nope. She went for the next election and wrote to the new president, Mildred Fillmore. He said no too. Did that stop Sarah? Nope. She was bold, brave, stubborn, and smart. Sarah wrote to the next president, Franklin Pierce. Wouldn't a national day of Thanksgiving be wonderful? No, Pierce grumbled. I want you to notice how it keeps repeating the word. She was bold, brave, stubborn, and smart. It is said it at least 3 or 4 times now. Like, why does the author do that? What would be his purpose in using repetition in those words? He is trying to emphasize something or really trying to push us to understand something. I want you to think about what that might be. I think he is wanting us to understand her character and who she is, and that she doesn't back down. And these are her great qualities about her. Sarah penned an elephant letter to President James Buchanan. She gave all the reasons why Americans would be better off if everyone gathered on the 4th Thursday in November to give thanks. President Buchanan disagreed. He had other things on his mind. Sarah felt like the stuffing had been kicked out of her. Everything was going wrong. America was at war, the North against the South. States that had promised to celebrate Thanksgiving changed their mind. The country was falling apart. It was a bleak and scary time. What do you think that word bleak might mean? Think about what's going on in the story and what it's looking like in those pictures. And what do we think the word bleak might mean? I think that it probably means something like bad or ugly or scary. And the reason I use the word scary is because the next word said scary time. So that context clue helps me know what bleak might mean. Did that stop Sarah? No way. Nothing stops Sarah. Superheroes work their hardest when things get tough. She picked up her mighty pen and wrote another letter, this time to the President Abraham Lincoln. America needed Thanksgiving. Now more than ever, a holiday wouldn't stop the war, but it could help bring the country together. She signed the letter, folded it, and slid it into an envelope, and she wrote Mr. Lincoln's name and address on the envelope and stuck a stamp on it. She mailed the letter. She waited, and she waited, and then Lincoln said yes. Lincoln said yes. In 1863, President Lincoln made Thanksgiving a national holiday, a day for all Americans to give thanks together. It took Sarah Hale 38 years, thousands of letters, and countless bottles of ink, but she did it. Nothing stopped Sarah. That bold, brave, stubborn, and smart lady saved Thanksgiving for all of us. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Sarah, for all the good food. And if you wanted to go look up this book on YouTube, you can find where these are some of the facts and the different things in her process of that. So let's talk for a minute about Sarah's claim. So what was Sarah claiming? Sarah was claiming that Thanksgiving needed to happen for everybody and there needed to be a set day for that. And she had evidence of why, for her reasons. That was her argument. That's what she was claiming. What is another word? Oh, who was her intended audience? Like, who was she trying to persuade? Was it the American people? Was it her family? Was it kids? Who was she trying to persuade? I want you to think about, she had to persuade more than one person, but they were all the same equal person. So think about who that might have been, that intended audience. Okay?